Thank you for joining us at Beer Fish Fanatics. And this episode is actually brought to you by Whisker Secret Tackle.
So make sure you guys go to whiskersecret.com for all your catfishing gear.
Enjoy the episode, guys. So, all right, you guys ready to rock and roll? I'm recording. Yep. Awesome. So, welcome to another episode of Beer Fish Fanatics. This is Granny with Bob Pop Fishing. We have
Kit with the Fishing Kit YouTube channel.
And today we have a special guest, Mr. Tim Herr from Outdoor Experience with Tim YouTube channel. So thank you very much for joining us, Tim. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Well, thanks for having me on your show. And I just got back from fishing, so
perfect.
Hey, me too, actually.
I don't have the luxury because I had the kids all day today. So, 4 kids is kind of a little tough, but I lived through you guys. So I watch your guys' channel and I live through you guys and your experience of catching fish. And I just pretend that's me pretty much. So, quick shout out to our sponsor, Kalona Brewing Company. I'm doing the Aloha, Iowa today, Kit. Aloha.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pineapple Belgian style ale, 6.3%. So, what you got?
Usually like that fruity beer stuff. I'm not a huge fan, but that one's pretty good. I'm gonna take it easy with the Kalona Classic. Got your light lager, easy.
Nice. Easy. Nice. And Tim's not a drinker, and we're gonna drink for him today. I told him that Fishing Kit and myself, we're gonna have plenty of beers, just the cover for you on that. Is that okay, Tim?
Oh, that's more than welcome. So
all right, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
It does have a pineapple after taste to it. It's not bad. It's pretty good. It's a Belgian ale. I was like, okay. Pretty good. Go get your guys some. That's pretty cool. I like that beer. It's actually really good. And so, and just offline, I was talking to Tim earlier. I have a lot of family in Colorado area. You're the very first Coloradoan. Is that the right term? Coloradoan? I don't know.
I guess so.
Right.
So Coloradian? I don't know.
Okay, so you might be the first, as I was mentioning, that we've ever had in our podcast and our show. So as I was mentioning, my brother-in-laws are big fans, and like Fishing Kit was saying, we came on to you because of them, and they really kind of showed us, and then we've been, kind of attached to your channel and everything, but just your fishing technique and the type of fish that you go for is pretty much what we do. So we figured what better way than to get a guy who fishes in the area that I go a lot to, and the guy who fishes for the type of species we do too.
Right here. These guys right here. Wipers.
There we go. So if you don't mind, Tim, tell us a little about our listeners a little bit about you, your channel, what you're all about, if you don't mind.
Well, my channel, it's mostly about fishing, I guess, because I kind of try to put some hunting videos in there too. Mm-hmm. But I figured that most of my viewers, they're all fishermen, and there's a few of them that actually do both, just like me. But it's just been a lot harder for me to get my hunting videos going because like the weekly uploads with the fishing content, it's like I have to try to juggle both of them like back and forth. So I do love archery, but at the same time, like that's during fall fishing. So it's like I have to see which one is more important for me to try to get a video for fishing or for me to try to get my elk or my deer. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically what my channel is about. It's just about me going out and teaching you guys how to fish, or else like taking you guys on one of my adventures, on my hunting adventures. And that's about it.
Everybody should check it out because you do catch some nice slabs and some nice wipers and stuff we like. So it was pretty cool.
So I didn't realize Colorado had wipers like that out there. So what is it about wipers that you like so much? Because I think you got quite a few wiper videos.
Yeah. Wipers, they're actually my number 2 favorite fish. Like, I love catching crappie more than wipers, surprisingly.
No way.
Yeah. but but wipers, I love it whenever well, the whole thing about them is that it's like a hide and seek game. Like as soon as you find them, there's always more than one. Like a couple of my videos, like when you watch them, you will see me hook up multiple times back to back to back to back, and like yeah, I do cut the scene, but like if I would have just let it play, you would definitely see me just like cast after cast after cast. But I just love how they fight because it's just one thing to like catch a crappie and like just jet ski on the top,
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
the water, or else having that big old wiper just peel out your drag about 30 yards out, and then you have to fight it right back in.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole difference right there. Like they hit a lot harder. It's kind of like a plus and a minus. They could be my favorite, but they're not. But yeah.
I'm with you, man. Because actually, I mean, eating wise, I prefer crappie
Yeah.
over any fish. And then Fishing Kit finally got me on catching a wiper on the kayak. So that I did that about 2 weeks ago with him. I'm telling, I don't know if you've done that yet off the kayak, catching a wiper. It's very chaotic. At least for me, I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It was pulling me all over because I'm not anchored down. I'm just like, thank goodness I had a pedal kayak to kind of at least fight it. Like, it's pretty cool though. So it was very interesting of how to figure out to get the wiper landed. That was pretty interesting on the kayak.
The funny thing is that I've been trying to invest into a kayak because like that's the next step that I kind of want to take my channel, is to go into the kayak. And then like I've been preparing for it, so like for over a year now. So it's like it's coming down to it. I'm trying to get it done this year. So hopefully
right.
for the fall season, you guys will see a lot of those videos of me being out there on the yak fighting wipers and whatnot.
Dude, we're gonna have to make a trip. I mean, like I said, I drive to Denver at least 4 to 5 times a year with my family out there. I'm gonna have to if you get the kayak, I'll make this guy go with me, and we can make a trip out of it. We actually have a buddy out there, Mr. Yang. He was actually on one of his channel, and we got him into the kayak scene. He just got a pedal kayak too this year, so it'd be pretty cool, man, to kind of get out there in the Colorado waters and catch some fish with you guys, man.
We could even meet halfway, because I know there's a state that you like to go to that we go to multiple times a year too.
Yeah.
So,
actually, it was exactly the same spot we saw.
We stayed in those cabins.
Yeah, so we stayed in. So I was just like, I literally was watching that video, and my wife was in the background in the kitchen. She's like, "Hey, isn't that?" Yeah, I go, yeah, that's exactly where we're at. We're like, that's exactly where we're going to be going next, in June. Yeah, we're going back there in June and September. We already got those cabins. But what I've noticed about your channel and about you is that a lot of the locations that you fish at, the lakes and the reservoirs and everything, my brother-in-laws always talk about it. But the thing is, it seems like you tend to get there before the masses know. So I just, is that something that you, I guess you say, do you find that rewarding? Because I really do. It's kind of funny because the text message, we have a text message with my brother-in-laws and our friends, and I see and hear them mention, oh, it's starting to bite here, blah, blah, at this location. But then it's funny. Then I saw your videos, like, shit, he was already there, like literally a week or two before. So it's something like, is that something you're proud of, or how do you make that work? How do you figure that out?
Well, let me let you guys in on a little secret. In Colorado, well, it's not really a secret when it's on YouTube, right?
Right.
But yeah, in Colorado, since most of our lakes are reservoirs and most of our state parks are reservoirs, they hold water from the farmers. So there is a certain website that you could go to and you could check the water flows. And when you look at these water flows and these water charts, it tells you when exactly they turn on the water for the inlet and the outlets. And usually when the water's running, it attracts bait fish, and that's where you find the fish. So like just doing a little bit of your homework, like right off the beginning, it saves you a lot of time of like running around.
Simple.
Smart.
Text them, Kit.
I wonder if they know. Wonder if they know.
They will
gotta
now.
know.
They will. Yeah, they gotta know, right? I mean, is that common knowledge? I would assume no.
Well, it is like it's out there for everyone to use, but at the same time, like I do know that a lot of the population in Colorado, they don't really use that. Like the only reason why I started using it was because I was duck hunting in the river, and like you want to know how fast the river is flowing before you try to walk out there, because you don't want to go out there when it's like running at like full blast and like you might get swept away, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of safety issues about that.
Interesting. So you used it for that, but it ended up helping you kind of figure out the fishing technique.
Yep.
Like that.
It helps to do a little research because at least you're not one of those guys on Facebook. Hey, what's biting at this lake and
Yep.
what's the best bait? I mean, that's what those groups are for. But sometimes in those groups, you just see like guys asking the same 10 or the same like 5 questions like every day. Hey, what's biting at this lake? Is it biting over here yet? But yeah, anyways.
For me, sometimes like I do YOLO a lot, and I just go to random lakes and go fish. Like when I start fishing, there's a few things that I look for, like how cold the water is, like if it's sunny or if it's cloudy, because I tend to find it that like since you guys like wiper fishing so much, for instance, on the cloudier days, you will find a lot more active wipers. Like usually on the bluebird days, I don't really find that much wipers. It's just because they're not really feeding that hard on the surface. On the bluebird days, I usually target the wipers during the sunrise and the sunset hours because those are the prime times. And then during the cloudy days, they would tend to bite longer throughout the whole entire day. They will have like a little break period sometime, maybe in the middle of the day or like more towards like the afternoon. But at the same time, you never know. They're fish, you know. They'll eat whenever they want to eat, you know. So yeah, it's just little patterns that like I pick up like every year. Like I just kind of just plug it all in, and then for the upcoming year, or else like for instance, like in Colorado, we've been having a lot of blizzards, so that's been messing up like a lot of our fishing because like for the walleye spawn, when they were supposed to be spawning in their full spawn, what happened was that we got hit with 2 blizzards, well, a blizzard and a snowstorm right afterwards. So like that pretty much just chilled out the water and made it really hard. So at that point, in my mindset was, well, then we should go ice mode again. You know, like think about using smaller baits, casting it out there, and we started hooking up again. So yeah, so it's like the weather plays a huge part of it in the whole fishery.
Smart. Smarter than me.
It's not really smart. It's more like
experience.
That's exactly it.
It happened to me too many times, and I got skunked way too many times because like I go, oh well, it just snowed. I'm just gonna go anyway, you know. And then like usually the day after the snowstorm, I always do very bad because like the water's like in that weird mode where it's like it's kind of too cold or too hot. And then like it's that weird mixture of water, so then like it makes the fish kind of like lethargic, so then they don't really want to bite, and like you end up wasting like a whole day out there.
I've noticed about Colorado, I'm just curious if this is something that's just normal, but we always ask our friends and stuff and my in-laws, like, you guys always drive like 2 or 3 hours to fish. Like for us, you know, we're like, holy shit, man, we got to drive 45 minutes. We're like, damn, that's a long drive for us, you know, but it just feels like, cause they tell us, oh yeah, we're going to go here. And then we looked it up, we're like, dude, that's like 2.5, 3 hours, or they drive to other locations that are 5.5, 6 hours. Is that just normal? I mean, is the local fishery just not that great? But they were saying there's just a lot of pressure, but what is it about Colorado that you have to drive like hella far just to fish? It feels like.
Well, the way how I see it, the best way how I can answer that question is that it's just because the reservoirs are so far apart from each other, because the farmlands kind of divide the water a little bit further apart.
Okay.
So like I guess because since they control the water, and like it just kind of forces all of our reservoirs kind of far apart. But at the same time, it's like all the local lakes, there is a lot of pressure, but at the same time, like I posted quite a few of them on my channel already, and I do get a lot of backlash from it, but who doesn't, every outdoors like YouTuber always gets backlash from posting up a fishing spot or whatever, like whenever I start posting stuff that's like more in town, I don't find the quality, like the quality size fish that I'm actually looking for. So like if I'm trying to catch like a 12-inch crappie, it's better for me to drive out 2 hours away where most of the city slickers aren't really going to, so where it's not getting hammered every day, so it's just like, okay, it makes it a little bit easier, and the fisheries out further out from the town is a lot better than it is in town.
I just thought you hated trout was gonna be my reason.
Well, yeah, there's also that too. Well, I don't necessarily hate it. It's just that like it's like, okay, like trout for us is like one step above bluegill. There's bluegills and then here's trout for us, like right here, But like, yeah, like trout, they're fun to catch, but then because Colorado has so many, like, I guess our hatcheries in Colorado, it's mostly trout. So like we just have a mass amount of trout inside of Colorado, So it's not as fun to catch a trout as much as it is to catch a wiper or a crappie,
Right, right. That's what I noticed from hanging out with these Colorado guys. Like, man, all these guys do not like trout, but like I know trout for the state of Colorado is like a big tourist because people are coming in to like into the state to fish for trout, but all the locals are like, no, 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 we don't even like trout. We're gonna go out to go fish for other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because for us, like we have a lot of like crossbreed trouts too, like cut bows and tiger trouts and stuff like that too. But like we just don't target them because like we're just like, it's just trout, like it's not a big deal for us.
For people from Iowa, I mean, we actually have a decent trout fishery northeast of us in Iowa, but yeah, we don't really have any massive, rainbow trout, brown trout, or cut bows here. So when I go out there, because I always go during the winter to visit family, but my brother-in-laws always take me to go, go get the trout, up in the mountains, depending wherever we go. And to me, I'm excited. It's like we don't get to catch that in Iowa. We don't get an ice for trout here. We're like, that's awesome to us. So that's why I get excited for that. And you're right. Their faces are just like, yeah, it's just a trout.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, it's just a trout.
It's all about perspective.
There you go.
All about perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm okay with crappies. I mean, they're nothing special to me really, but I do love the wipers. Trout have lost their luster with me after I fished for trout in Colorado. Come back to Iowa, I was like, nah, trout, whatever.
Well, okay. So the story is we went there on a trip and we met with my brother-in-laws and our friends, and it was a struggle for actually all of us for trout. Whatever, we were going for Lakers. He never caught a lake trout. Yeah, he never caught a Laker. So we're trying to get, and then all my brother-in-laws, our friends are like, Lakers are so easy, because you guys catch it all the time. Like, man, you'll know when it hits you. You'll pull your pole, whatever, right? Like 2 days straight, we couldn't get them to bite. They were so lock-lipped, and we walked like so far up and down the mountains that it was just horrendous. It got to the point where we almost had to give up, but he finally caught it on his last day, though.
Yeah, it took us like 2 days and only caught like 2 lake trout.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, how big was the lake trout?
Not that big.
Not big.
Yeah,
it was
maybe like 16 inches or something. Not very big.
No.
Yeah, the whole thing about lake trout is that each year they only grow 1 inch. So like if you catch like those monster size ones, like the really, really big ones. So like if you catch like a 45-inch lake trout or something like that, it means that it's been in that water for a very long time. So yeah, like for the locals, through the ice, we do catch a lot of Lakers. and like we don't usually eat anything that's over 18, just because it's just too old, you know. Like,
Yeah.
like if you think about it, it's been sitting in that water for 18 years, you know. So why would you want to eat it?
It's kind of same thing with catfish in a way.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it gets to a certain size that I don't even. It's like, it doesn't taste as good anyways. By the time it gets that large and that old, I feel like with catfish. Do you guys have a lot of catfish and stuff over there by chance, or?
We do. I just don't target them as much.
Okay, we might have to change that for you.
Well, let's just put it this way: like at Lake McConaughey, like around the time that you guys usually like to go,
Mm-hmm.
like right around that time, yeah, that's when the catfish is the hottest.
Really?
And like if you know how to catch them, like you could catch them on top water. Just put it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done it before. Like I've used that Savage duck lure, the weird little lure, you know, made for muskies.
Oh yeah.
I use that thing, and I've caught 6 catfish back to back. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're not small by any means. They're all like in their 20 plus inches. So like probably about like anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds. So, well, probably even bigger than that. You know, like a few of them are like pushing 10. So
yeah, we haven't been there in a while, huh, Kit?
No, it's been a while. It's kind of a haul, but not. It isn't too bad, but
7 hours for us. So
yeah, that's
a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, hey, it has a lot of trophy fish in there for sure.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I mean,
when you're after the big ones, that's where you go.
Yeah, I agreed. I think I caught my biggest walleye there a couple years ago. A long time ago, and they got some amazing wipers too. The fish there is it's a good fishery. It's a lot of pressure too.
It's shoulder fishing. It's more combat fishing than it is reeling in a fish, man. Like, so sometimes it's like that, you know. So, but then that's when you know that the fishing's good.
Yeah, I heard the walleye spawn's pretty crazy over there.
Oh yeah.
Like between the boat traffic and the foot traffic over there, man, like people are like waiting for boats to go by because there's so many boats.
Yep. I've done that once last year, and I don't think I'm going to do it this year. So, well, given that it's almost over already, you know, for the spawn up there. So
we'll see if we can get out there at least this year. I don't know. Obviously last year with COVID, we didn't travel very much at all. But we'll see if we can try and get out there. We'll let you know for sure. We'll swing by out there if it's a good bite towards the fall or something like that. But if I'll let you know offline. We'll let you know when we're gonna go down to the other location down south a little bit. In fall time. I'll let you know when we'll go. Maybe you can swing by and meet us out there or something. And we'll have a good time on that. What would you say is like your hot lure when you're fishing for wipers? Because right now I would say in Iowa, like wipers are picking up or about to really pick up. What would you say is like your go-to? This is it never lets me down type of lure or setup, I guess you can say.
The lure that you always see me throw. You always see me throw it.
The paddle fry thing, right?
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep. I do have one sitting right here.
Go ahead and show it. If you want to show, you can show it. Or
well,
not.
I don't get paid by them, so I don't need to do that.
It's funny. Our buddy Mr. Yang, that's one of his favorite jigs too. He calls it the Hmong jig, actually.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's true. I thought they were just shitting me, man. So it is called the Hmong jig.
Yeah, like the funny thing is like almost all of the Hmong people in Colorado knows what it is, you know. Like they just take one look at it and they go, "Oh, I know exactly what you're throwing," you know.
Yeah, I never even heard of it until he showed me. So like, must be a Colorado thing.
Yeah, and it's funny though. No, you're right, because we're like, I'm not. Hey, yeah, what is that? And then all of a sudden, my brother-in-law, dude, that's the Hmong jig. Like, huh? And they go, yep, that's the go-to. That's the mojo, man. That's the mojo. Like,
it's the one lure that catches them all, man. If you watch my videos consistently, you will see me catch everything from crappies to wipers to white bass, you name it. smallmouth bass, largemouths, everything, man. But
Nice.
but yeah, besides that, like I, I picked up like a lot of different techniques from like fishing from like all of these different areas. Like last year, I went over there to Oklahoma and I tried to catch those stripers from Keystone, and oh man, that was a blast. But at the same time, it's a whole different style of fishing, you know. And I use that and I use that technique in one of my other videos, and it ended up working here in Colorado. So it's like, hey, like I picked up something new and it worked, you know. Like first one to try it, and I guess it worked, you know. So yeah, like I've done that like quite a bit too. A lot of my techniques for fishing for crappie, like during the spawn, I use like ice fishing like techniques, like
Mhm.
just vertical jig and like just move it up and down right by the rocks and stuff like that. Like, and I find a new technique that I want to try, and I just try it, and if it works, then it's good. If not, then oh well, you know.
There's a satisfaction when you're like, okay, I'm gonna go out with this new technique. Then you catch a fish, then you catch, I'm like, okay, I caught a fish. And then once you catch a few fish, like, all right, so I got a pattern going on. And
Yep.
then that's when it's like, man, feels good. But then when it doesn't happen, like, man, that sucked.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, yeah, I've done that a lot too. Just like, oh, well, that one's in the gutter. It's time to switch it out.
I'm going beer number 2, guys. Another
Dang, so
aloha.
thirsty.
A little bit. Hey, I had a rough day, man. 4 girls driving me nuts today a little bit. It was one of those days, kid. This episode was helped brought to you by our newest sponsor, Kalona Brewing Company. They're a brewery out there in eastern Iowa. So if you're in the area, make sure to stop by Kalona and check out their brewery. Great food at the restaurant there, great beer, obviously. If you're in the Midwest, check out any Hy-Vees. I believe they carry the 6-packs, and they have different types of flavors. So you guys are going to want to, definitely try that out. And I think throughout this whole process, Fishing Kid and myself for Beer Fish Fanatics, we're going to be doing some giveaways here and there. If you guys can go ahead and tag us here and there with your Kalona beer. So other than that, enjoy the episode, guys. Just didn't get a chance to go fishing. I told you I was wanting to go catfishing a little bit today. That didn't happen. Hopefully tomorrow. We'll see. And then hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. We'll see. With the weather. The weather is so crazy for y'all this year. Like, you guys just had like a snowstorm literally like a week, not even a week ago or a couple days ago or something like that.
We had a snowstorm last week, I believe, and then we had like our spring fishing. It's been so screwed up. Just put it that way. It's like as soon as it started, and then like we had like two days that was like 80s and 70s, and all of a sudden, boom, a blizzard, and then that like killed the fishing for like a good week. And then as soon as all of the snow melted, and then I said that okay, well, give it like a few days, and then it might be good again, and after that, and then like boom, another snowstorm. And then like we're like, okay, that might be the last one. It's normal for Colorado to have a few of those. And then all of a sudden last week we got hit with another one, and we're just like, okay, yeah, it's just one after another. And it's been kind of rough. But then I've been watching the weather like for a lot of different areas in Colorado. So like right after the blizzard, for the second snowstorm, I needed to go down south because it didn't get hit. So I'm like, oh, so that's where I need to go, because the blizzard barely touched that. And then like the snowstorm is that's actually here, it didn't touch down there. So the water down there is still warm. So then that's when I went that way.
Yeah, we actually got some snow too. I think that like it wasn't last week, but maybe it was the week before. I think we got hit with that same system.
Yeah.
I remember like I was at work, it was sunny, I think in the morning. And when I got to work, or it was clear skies. And then I think like after my first break, I look outside, there's like freaking snow coming down. Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's April.
We usually get the system after you guys, like a day and a half or two. I mean, as long as it's moving that direction, most of the time it feels that way.
Yeah, for Iowa, snow in April is weird. I mean, I don't know how common that is for Colorado. Is that very common in Colorado?
No, it's more like snow in March, but like every now and then we might get one in April. But like this year is just really crazy.
You ever fished in Iowa?
No, I haven't. I kind of want to. I kind of want to go up there to go chase some yellow bass.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll talk offline if we'll see how your schedule is. But yeah, if you want to catch some yellow bass, you gotta, all right, that's it. You know a couple guys in Iowa now, and you know him. We'll get you on some yellow bass, or we'll at least take you to the locations and stuff. You'll have a fun time out here. So
how did you hear about the yellow bass?
Well, from YouTube channels.
Yeah.
It's basically from ice fishing. Like I'm part of one of those ice fishing groups, and then like a lot of people like to post up a lot of yellow bass, and I'm like, man, I want to catch one of those. Those look pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're like pound for pound, man. They might be the hardest fighting fish. Like honestly, or freshwater, like those little guys fight so hard. Like if they got as big as a wiper, they probably fight harder than wipers.
Something about catching them through the ice, if you can get on top of a school, you have to experience that. So and right now, I think this past year, they're getting pretty large at a specific lake here in Iowa up north. They're getting pretty big. So I guess you can say they're reaching to the end of their cycle. I think that's what the Iowa DNR is, because we just had Iowa DNR on, and he was like, yeah, they're getting so big that they're towards the end of their life cycle, I guess. But
they're like pushing that 12-inch plus mark right now, and that's about as big as they get, really. Like a master angler is 10 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
There's other locations though. We'll get you on. It's pretty fun, man. If you get a chance to get through the ice, because dude, for about 3 or 4 years in a row, my all our buddies and stuff from Colorado, they were driving 10, 11 hours to come for the yellow bass.
Oh, trust me, I'm willing to make the drive just to come do it once, because just because it's a species that I haven't caught yet, and I kind of want to get into it, because it does look like a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Like when you get a school going, like you guys basically just double dip in the same hole. Like one person pulls a fish out, then the next guy goes down. Just take turns. Oh man, so fun.
Definitely. What would you say is your what are bucket list fish, I guess, for you then, since you said yellow bass is one? What would you say is like your top 3 or whatever bucket list fish or something then?
Well, I do want to catch a jumbo perch that's like at least 15 inches, because if you notice, I caught crappie that are like about 16 inches already, and then wipers I've hit over the 30 mark. For walleyes, I've hit over the 30 mark, so like I kind of don't really have like a big fish left to catch. Like one of the ones that I really do want to catch is yellow bass and perch, but then beyond that, and the most of it's just the tropical fish,
Yeah.
but then like that's a whole different other story, in itself. So I'm gonna have to drop a lot of cash if I want to do something like that.
Yeah.
We got to get out there sometime, Kit.
Yeah, no. Well, either ocean.
Yeah,
no matter.
True, very true.
I've caught like black tips, like it's the black tip sharks. Yeah, I caught a few of those. I've caught. We went on a charter, and then they took us out to go catch red snappers and stuff like that. Yeah, it's like when you're on the charter, it's not that fun, just because it's like they kind of drive you to a spot, and then they just go, okay, drop your bait. You drop your bait, you pull up the fish. And I'm like, okay, there's like no skills involved. It's just like, okay, you drop the bait, and then whatever one gets yours is yours, and you're just like, okay.
That's true.
That's funny. You're paying a lot of money to go on that too.
Yeah, like I guess it just depends on which charter you're actually going into. And the one that we went into, it was a party charter. So then it was our group versus and then they had like a whole different other group with us. So there was quite a few of us on there, and then like that's all they did. Like the 2 guys that were the crewmates, they just ran around and just unhooked everyone's fish. You didn't have to touch the fish at all. So.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you're paying that much, you barely have to do anything.
Yeah.
It's mindless fishing, Kit, right? That's
maybe it's not so glamorous as I like always imagined it in my mind. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go out to the ocean, get a charter. They're gonna take me out. I'm gonna have so much fun.
Well, like I guess it depends on which charter you're on, because like a few of the other charters, like the smaller party ones, like the private charters,
Mhm.
those ones, they will take you out, like just you and a few of your buddies, and then they will take you out and then like take you to their spot, and you can do whatever you want. For the party charters, it was just okay. You don't need no skills for this, man. You just drop it straight down.
You ever fish in like Minnesota area? I know there's a lot of Hmong people up there. That's why I was just wondering if you ever been up there to fish.
Man, racist.
How's that racist? There's a lot of dude. There's a huge Hmong population up in Minnesota, and they fish.
Yeah, I fished in Wisconsin, not in Minnesota. So.
Oh, okay.
I fished by one of the Great Lakes, I think. And then last year I hit the king salmon run, and then I couldn't get a good video out of it, but like I hooked onto a few of them, and oh my goodness, dude, that thing, it's a torpedo in a tiny creek, man. That's all I got to say. As soon as you hook onto it, all you see is the fish flying out of the water, going like dragging you down like about 80 yards. So
we had D Yang on a few episodes ago. He did mention about that, the salmon run. So
yeah,
I might have to do that one time.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fun, but you just got to be careful because there's actually a lot of people around you. So like you can't let your fish run too far either in either direction if you're fishing the creeks. But if you're fishing around the mouth, it's a little bit more okay because those guys, they kind of know what to do already. Like as soon as you hook up, they know to get out of your way, kind of thing. Mm. But like there's always that one guy, there's always that one guy, and then he always gets tangled up with you, and then it's just like, okay, well, now what? You're gonna be that one guy, huh?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's why he's already laughing. He's like, shit, that's him.
I'm not a big fan of combat fishing, man.
That salmon run, do you eat? You don't eat those, right?
No.
Because they're like, you don't want to eat them. I think what's Robbie told us about that, right?
Well, you only want to eat the ones that are like, fresh, like the chrome ones.
Yeah, the silver. If they're still silver, they're good. Okay. If they're starting to turn brown, then nope, no good.
Anybody ever try? What happens if you try? I don't know.
They're basically like rotting while they're alive, right?
Okay. Yeah. Is that what that is? Okay. Hey, good explanation. I had no idea. So they're just, doesn't taste good, then I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, it's they're basically dying, like just rotting away. Okay. While they're still alive. That's the reason why they're also known as a zombie fish, just because they're still alive when there's like slowly decaying.
Because they're just there to spawn and then die. I thought we discussed this before.
No, we did, but I didn't know. I mean, I'm just saying. Why didn't anybody...
Didn't pay attention, you mean?
I pay attention, but
I'm pretty sure people tried it and they're like, no, this ain't doing it.
I like that though, zombie fish. That's kind of interesting. It's true though in a way because they're just decaying to dying, and they're like they're swimming dead, right? Pretty much
swimming dead.
So what's your favorite fish to eat, anyways, Tim?
I like crappie and then walleye, and then hybrids. It's kind of up there, but not really. Just because like a lot of people complain about the bloodline, but it doesn't really bother me. I guess I would say that would be the number 5 fish that I like to eat, because it would go crappie, walleye, then perch. No, number 4. Yep, and the wipers and the white bass.
Yellow bass beats both of those, like white bass and wiper.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't ate one yet, so I wouldn't know.
Like me, I mean, I don't know if it's because I don't eat yellow bass as often, but I like it better than crappie.
I still love crappie. I still think crappie is the best eating fish.
Crappie's fine, but
yellow bass is very close. I would say yellow bass is like a tie between that and walleye for me.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, oh, I like walleye better than crappie.
I don't know, man. It all depends. Depends on how you make it too. It depends on how you prep it. Like we were all saying, you got to eat it with sticky rice. When you eat that stuff with sticky rice, it's game over, man. A lot of people don't know yet. listeners, I'm telling you, go find yourself that Asian friend, the Southeast Asian friend that can get you some sticky rice, and you eat some fried fish with sticky rice with a little bit of salt and whatever. Oh my, with the herbs and the dips, man, life changing.
Next week's video, actually, I'm gonna do that fried bluegill with cucumber salad and sticky rice.
There you go. I'm a thing, man. Hell yeah.
Man, I don't show how to make sticky rice. I figured that's pretty easy. And if you really want to know, you just Google it.
YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube would teach you everything.
There you go.
I mean, I don't know what the like the American audience is gonna think when they see, because I show how to make the salad, because there's some funky stuff that go in there, and like if
yeah, it's
like,
okay.
Since
we're Americans, kid. It's the same thing. It's just gonna be other people who they have a different taste. They've never eaten it probably. Yes. So you're gonna introduce them to some exotic.
Yeah. If they go make it for the first time, the first time they open that shrimp paste, they're like, "Oh my god, you guys eat this?"
But see, as long as on your video you teach them and you show them, don't use the whole damn thing. You just use a little bit of it, and the reason behind it. It'd be all right.
I just say, it's a little funky. Like there's a few funky ingredients. I don't sugarcoat it. I straight up say it's funky. But for some reason, when it all comes together, it just works, and it goes so good with fish. Oh, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Oh man, so funny. So Ted, I'm wondering, do you guys get a lot of heat, I guess you could say, in regards to fish harvesting in Colorado area? Whether you're Asian or just it doesn't matter what your race. I'm just like, do you see a lot of heat, attention that gets to in regards to harvesting and stuff there?
Well, I do in a way, yes, and in a way, no, because something that I practice, it's called selective harvesting. So like I keep the ones that I want to eat, and I'm still within my limits, and whatnot, But I do notice that yes, a lot of people like to harvest fish, and I have no problem with that, because it's like, well, it's their fish, they caught it, they choose what happened to it, I say that all the time, just because a few guys that I've seen today, they would catch wipers and then they look at it and then kind of give me that look like what if I keep this, because there are some people in Colorado who are like, no, you have to let it go, it's a hybrid, it can't breed and stuff like that, and I'm all like, well, they caught the fish, so they get to keep it, I'm like, it's his fish, it's not like you caught it, so I'm like, who are you to decide what happens to his fish, and yeah, that's something that I do practice though, is selective harvesting. Like if it looks good enough to eat, they eat it, like if you don't have any plans to eat it, then just let it go,
Right. Don't let it sit in the freezer.
Yes,
freezer burn.
That's our biggest thing. It's like, if you're gonna eat it, that's fine. It's not a big deal, as long as you, like you say, within the limits. But yeah, just saying, don't get it that freezer burn. That means you just over harvest. And if you're giving it the freezer burn.
For me, I'm too lazy to clean fish most of the time, so I just let them go.
So what he does, he'll donate to me and my family, because I don't get fish obviously as much, and well, even if I did, I probably don't catch as much as him anyways. So he donates to us, and he's like, good, I don't have to clean that shit. So
okay, I'm only donating so many to you, Grandy, and then I'll give my mom a few. I try. Yeah, I specifically, try not to keep a cooler. I mean, I can keep a cooler. Some people do. I don't know what they do with all that fish, but sure.
You just gotta remember, you keep it, you gotta clean it. Yeah, that's the reason why I started releasing a lot of mine too, just because it's like, man, I gotta deal with it when I get home too. I'm too tired to deal with it, I just let it go.
Especially when it's like a long day of fishing, bro. It's like you're out there for sometimes I go fishing 6, 7, 8 hours, and then I keep 5, 6, sometimes more than that. Then like, man, I don't want to clean these fish. Like, oh, just give it to my aunt and uncle. But a lot of times I don't even want to go give it to them either because you got to drive across town or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, my kids love fish. So I got 4 daughters, and my wife loves fish. They love eating fish. They do. All my kids, they truly love eating fish. And I'm not gonna kid you guys, man. I get lazy too. Once I start cleaning, I'm like, God, this was not a good idea. You know what I mean? But I'll clean, plenty for them to eat because they really do eat a lot of the fish and they love it. But yeah, I was telling a kid, I go, okay, I'm cutting off keeping way too many because I hate cleaning too many fish at times. So, but at least they don't go to waste. I always tell him that. And any fish that I keep, and it, very, very minimum because I don't catch that many. I love to fish. I'm not very good at it, but I just love to do it. But like I said, it does get annoying to clean too much fish. So I was just wondering though, because I know it was a heated topic here a little bit. It always is in regards to harvesting. So I just wondered if you guys had the same issue over there.
Yeah, it's the same exact issue. It's just that it doesn't matter too much for certain species, but like other species, they will like really nip at you for it. So yeah, it's kind of weird. But like for me, I'm just like it is what it is. Like people are gonna talk no matter what.
But those wipers, they were put there, right? And see, that's what the Iowa Dinar told us. He's like, well, we put the fish there for you to catch and keep, so it's kind of the whole point of it. So totally makes sense. So
yeah, like the whole thing is like we have a few people like like just strictly talking about wipers. They stock wipers into the lakes for it to help manage the population of the fish. But then at the same time, they know that the wipers can't reproduce, so it's a lot easier to manage. But then, like in Colorado, we're allowed to harvest 10 for a reason, and the whole reason for that is because when they get too big, they devour everything inside the lake. So like you would start to notice like when it's a good wiper year, it's going to be a bad crappie year, and then the other species start suffering a little bit because they're eating everything. They're eating all of the babies, all of the food, and like including them, So like I've seen like big wipers choke on like 15-inch drums, and die. So yeah, like it's just so weird because like on some days, like when I fish and then like you see like these giant waves coming in and you see a big old dead fish, you're like, whoa, that's a wiper. And then you look at it, you're like, dude, he has a big old drum inside of his mouth. What the heck is he trying to do? I'm like, no wonder he died. Trying to swallow that thing whole.
You guys have shad in your lakes out there?
Yes, we. I guess it's the American shad. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Well, we have gizzard shad here in Iowa.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's the gizzard shad. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because like they're put in a lot of our lakes to control the shad, because the shad they'll take over and they'll like renovate a whole lake just because there's too much shad. So they put in wipers to take care of the shad. So like at least for us, I'm not sure if they'll eat too much of the other game species. More I guess compete for the food. But once a shad gets 5, 6, 7, 8 inches, that's way too big for a crappie to eat. Different ecosystems. So
well, this is what I got to say about that. It's programming the fish to see food, eat. And so basically it says, oh, okay, well, if it was smart enough to kind of decipher between what's not a shad and what is a shad, and then it would never hit our baits ever. It would not touch any of our lures ever. So like if you put wipers in, like the whole thing about Colorado is that we have in our reservoirs, we don't have a lot of cover. like to protect our other species.
Okay.
So it's all mud bottom. Everything's on it's all on a dam structure, and like the only place where they hide is either in the inlet, outlet, or else like right where the rocks are. And then if it's like if it's a solid dam where it's just a flat piece of concrete, and then they can't really hide anywhere, So when the water goes down, when the farmers take it, then the wipers go on a feeding frenzy. It's because the fish can't go hide anywhere. They're stuck on the mud bottoms, and then yep, at that point, and then like, yeah, when you catch wipers, they're fat, they're nice and healthy, nice healthy wipers. You're proud of it, but like at the same time, you kind of think about it, and you're like, wait, but what happened to the crappie? And then on the next year, when you go look for the crappie, you're like, dude, I only found like 2. Like what why is there such a dramatic difference? And that's the whole difference between like our lakes and like let's compare it to like Kansas's lakes, because Kansas has an abundance of wipers and white bass and crappie because they have the structure to hide everything.
Yeah, Kansas isn't too different from Iowa, like as far as like the bodies of water and structure and forage species. I guess the only thing they got that we don't have is blue cats, which kind of disappoints me.
He's on a blue cat bonanza, I guess, in a way.
That's a potential 100-pound fish, right next door.
That's his goal. He wants that. What is your goal in regards to the blue cat? What's your goal this year?
30. I want a 30 in the kayak, 30-pounder.
So what happens when you catch a 50-pound blue cat? How are you going to land him?
Drag it up on the kayak. Like if I have to, I'll go on shore.
Okay.
But,
that's what me and Lycus were talking about. Like, how the hell is he gonna land a 50-pound blue cat when he catch one on the kayak? We're like, and I told him, I think he's gonna pedal all the way to the shore.
It's because what about the stingers? Like you have to think about the stingers, right?
Well, when the fish is that big, so it's old, those their barbs or whatever, they get worn down, so they're not really sharp. It's just you can just grab them by those and just pick them up if you wanted to. But yeah, in the kayak it's gonna be tricky. I'll cross that bridge when I get there, and I do want to cross that bridge.
Yeah.
So at least the 30. Anything above that, cherry on top.
I want to see it. I want to see the chaos, and then, like I said, man, I can't wait, Tim. Once you get that kayak, let us know right away, man, because we'll make a trip out there. I mean, I invested into the pedal kayak this year too. So, I mean, we've been yak fishing about 4 or 5 years. I've been about 5 years or so, and then I finally plunged after watching him make it look so damn easy on the pedal kayak. So I had to get on that boat, I guess you can say.
I don't know about easier. Like you don't get into kayak fishing because it's easy.
Very true.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
It's a challenge. That's the reason
it
why
is.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, it is. It is challenging.
It is.
Yeah.
And then
if you want easy, you'd get a boat.
Even that's not even.
Actually, I find it easier on the shore than on the boat.
That's true. Well, like convenience wise,
yeah,
like bank fishing is way easier because you don't got to haul all that stuff.
All right, man. I mean, anything else for Tim, Kit? I know we've been talking for him. And we're talking a lot about fishing, and I can't wait to go actually get a chance to go fishing with you, man. Because I'll be good. I'll be going to Denver pretty soon here. I'll let you know my schedule at the offline, so people don't follow me, go catch all the fish before I do.
Oh, trust me, people will follow me. And
do they? No, I'm seriously. No, do they try and find you? Like, okay, where is he at to see where the bite is?
I do run into a lot of my subscribers. I will tell you that. I do run into them. I will always greet them with a smile and a welcome, because it's like, I am so glad that you guys actually watch my stuff, because I'm like, whoa, like I'll be honest, I did not expect like anyone to watch my stuff. Like I'm like, okay, well, I'm just making videos just for me, the way how I edit my videos is the way how I would watch my videos. It's just because it's like, well, if no one's gonna watch it, at least I won't be bored of it. I can watch my own video, So yeah.
Nah.
So yeah, I am like really glad to see my subscribers out there. Like even if they have like a little bit of hate or grudge towards me, I don't. You know, I'm just like, hey, haters pays the bills. I don't really care. You know, like it is what it is, kind of thing. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm just-
Anyway, speaking of subscribers and stuff, so if our audience wants to get a hold of you, where can they do that?
on my YouTube channel, Outdoor Experience.
You got an Instagram or like a
Yes,
Facebook page or anything like that?
I do have the Instagram. It's Outdoor EXP. I don't remember my full Instagram. So, yeah.
Don't worry, I have it. Don't worry,
remember it at all.
don't worry about it. I got all those links. I'll definitely put on the show notes and everything on that. But you know what? It's like I say, you guys really, go check out his channel. It's really fun. I love the music. That's what me and Kit were talking about. We're like, hey, he's got some like reminds me of back in the early 2000s. I used to listen to this type of music after college, man.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
no copyrighted music. That's the reason why I used it. Otherwise,
nice, love it. So, yeah, go check his stuff out because it's fun. You get a chance to see you catch the fish that we love to catch and love to see. It's similar to the stuff we do. And then, the cool thing, like I said, you're the first person from Colorado just to get you on here, just talk a little bit about fishing, get an opportunity to get to know you a little bit more. Definitely appreciative, Tim, man. Appreciate it, man.
Well, it was fun, like being here with you guys too. So
Yeah, it was good, man. It was nice reaching out to our Asian brother.
Asian brother from Colorado. Love it, man. All right.